My F29, best friend F29, tried to sabotage my marriage and I don't know why. I am not OOP. OOP is you/tr awebadf originally posted to our relationship advice. My F29, best friend F29, tried to sabotage my marriage and I don't know why. Trigger warnings. Falsifying statements. Original post. November 18, 2024. So I, 29, met my best friend Sarah, 29, and husband, 31, when I was 11. I just moved to a new country with my family, and my now sister-in-law introduced me to Sarah, 29. Now that we're adults, we share some friends, but we each have different groups to do different things. So usually I'm working in the office from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., and I have a 30-minute break that I usually take to have my second breakfast, and sometimes I go to my husband's office. It's 5-minute walking, or a cafe near my job. Sometimes I have to work out of my office or go to another city. Every now and then I mention to Sarah if I have to travel for work during the week in casual conversations. Last week I had to travel for work on Wednesday, but Tuesday night there was a red alert about the weather the next day, so my work thing was canceled, and I stayed home with my 2-year-old. My husband went out at 6 a.m. to make sure his business was closed and put up some flood protection, and by 7:30 a.m. he was back at home making breakfast. It didn't start raining until 1 p.m. At 3 p.m. Sarah sent a message asking if I was at home already because it was flooding where I was traveling, and I just texted back, home safe. We literally didn't go out until Friday. Saturday Sarah and I go to the same gym class. She told me we needed to talk in private, so we went to my car and she told me, basically, on Wednesday I saw your husband with a woman and they were making out and your kid was in the car. I was frozen for a bit, but then I remembered that I was working from home with my husband and my baby for 2 days. I realized she was lying, but I didn't understand anything. I asked 3 times if she was sure it was this week's Wednesday, and she confirmed it 3 times. I asked her about the time, and she said about 11 a.m. I asked if it was during the red alert, and she said yes. I asked her if she was 100% sure, and she launched a whole description of my husband making out with a gorgeous Barbie look-alike blonde girl in his car in front of our kid near his office during the red alert. So he was putting my son at risk and cheating in front of him. I told her my work thing was suspended because of the red alert, and we were both home the whole time it was activated. She tried to say she got confused with the days, but she confirmed it 3 times. I told her to leave and she left running. I went home and did the whole betrayed spouse house search. There was no hidden phone. I have all the passwords to every device in this house, not lack of trust. It's because I manage part of his business and he's bad with passwords. Even looked after hidden emails, and the only thing he was hiding was his paranormal podcast he listens to sometimes. That night I told my husband what was going on, and he denied ever cheating and even worse, disrespecting his own son in that way. I believe him 100%. There wasn't a change in his behavior or routine. He gave up his phone right away, and I told him I already checked everything in our house, and he told me to check his car then. We decided to call Sarah together. She picked up the 3rd call, and she was crying. I told her to just tell me why she lied. She swore she wasn't lying, but told me she got confused with Monday. I told her Monday our son was in daycare, and we had breakfast during my break, so at what time did my husband go to take our son out of daycare? Go to pick up this girl to make out in front of my baby, and then back to the daycare for me to pick him up and then have breakfast with me. She cried more and told me she didn't know, so my husband told her to cut the shit if she had at least a bit of decency and tell us why she was lying. She said she was sorry and hung up and then had the audacity to block us. I told the friends we had in common with her, and everyone is mad and can't explain what happened to her. She is not picking up the phone, but sent a message back saying she was sick. Some of them asked her why she was lying, and she blocked them. Someone even called her mom, and she is just as shocked. Nobody understands what's going on. I thought maybe it was a crush, but my husband never liked her that much, so he didn't pay attention to her. She isn't even added to his socials because he never liked her when Sarah was his sister's friend or when she became my friend too. They don't interact unless it is necessary to say she got a crush so big she thought it was worth it to try to break a family. I do know that sometimes she gossips a little too much or sometimes she talks about things she shouldn't, but I never thought it would develop into something this big. I had this girl at my side for really hard moments. I had her back when she needed me. She was one of the first persons I told about my wedding and pregnancy. I loved this girl since we were little. I just don't understand, and she is not talking to anyone. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. Perhaps the feeling regarding your husband is mutual and she was trying to drive him away. Is she single? Did she go through a breakup or something along those lines recently? Sometimes when that happens to people, they try to make their friends single so they don't feel bad jealous. It's awful, but it happens. You need to cut this person from your life. OOP. It's not like they're rude to each other or anything, but she is aware that my husband has better connection with other friends of mine, but she is still invited to our house or every group kind of thing just like any other friend. Also, she is not the relationship kinda girl, doesn't have a history of bad breakups, and she is out of our lives, but she left a lot of confusion behind her commenter too. What is Sarah's living situation? You don't tell us if she is married, lives with a partner, went through a breakup, has kids, what she does for work, etc. How often do you hang out? I'm assuming she is single as you called her mom and not her partner, but telling us a little more about her life might shed some light on why she's acting so batshit crazy. Can you think back whether she's ever said anything negative about your husband before? Have you spoken to your sister-in-law about this? What does she think? Maybe the two of you should pay Sarah a visit. Perhaps going without your husband might make her more willing to tell you why she's making shit up about him. And maybe she had a brain tumor? This is so strange, I honestly don't know without hearing a bit more about her life. OOP. She's single and never really liked being in relationships, no bad breakups. She works from home in her field and was happy with it. Our group of friends are her longest, and I would say main friendships, but she also has a healthy social life outside of us, you know? If she wants to make plans, she has people to do them. Also, my husband and Sarah are not like rude to each other, but Sarah knows that she isn't his favorite friend of mine, but she never said something bad about him, at least to my face. She was still invited to every cookout, birthday, or stuff like that. She was welcomed to our house and treated her like any other guest. We usually see each other once a week outside the gym, sometimes with other friends, sometimes with my kid, and sometimes alone. We don't have a set schedule, but we make time. I admit my sister-in-law went crazy on her on messages, but she is currently living abroad, so that bridge, I would say it's burned. Some friends are suggesting mental health issues because she never did anything like this, but she is still not talking. Commenter 3, what do you mean that your sister-in-law went crazy on her? OOP. She left voice notes and messages screaming and insulting her, which I find fair, and told her she was cut off the group, and was telling everyone what she did. And she messaged almost all of Sarah's friends on Instagram about what she did, and to be careful if they're in relationships in case she tries to ruin another relationship. Commenter 4. Is Sarah having a mental breakdown? It would be very strange if she was previously a good friend and then suddenly starts sabotaging your relationship. Not you, but someone else should take her for a mental health check. OOP. Some of my friends are suggesting mental health because she isn't known for lying or liking drama, but it's not like we can take her to a hospital, and she isn't talking to anyone. OOP on eating 5 times a day. OOP. My country is widely known for eating 5 times a day, and sometimes it's not enough +7. Drop your verdict in the comments. Wait, what?